Welcome to Fahrenheit Performance Podcast, episode number 54. Daddy's back. Try Daddy. Cyril, it's good to see you.
Good to see you again. Thank you for...
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for
having me.
You were
like episode 30-something, or you're... What?
Was? Yeah, something.
20-something?
June.
Yeah. Okay. And when you last came in, we were talking about how you were going to do KONA.
Yep.
And then you were going to... KONA, and then you're going to do Taupo World Championships.
Correct.
And then now it's January. You've done both, right?
I did.
How you're a purpose CEO,
Yes.
right? And I just see you everywhere. I was just seeing you're exposed. You went to a buy T100 or something as well.
Yeah, that was just... that's right. That was after... I mean, yes, it's almost every 2 weeks there's some kind of an event. And, when you do what we're trying to do with Noah and the rest of the team, building a global brand, you have to be present and being there at those races is important for us, not just from a selling perspective, but also to be there with the community and understand a little bit what happened. So.
And how's that going? Is that
good? Yeah, no. It was. It's been a fantastic, yet always challenging year 2024, and 2025 would be even more interesting in my point of view. We might talk about that, but lots of developments, lots of improvement that we want to do across all the other products, but also proper innovation and meeting new partners. And I'm very excited about 2025. Yet, when you build a brand and you have a small business and you try to grow, it's always also scary in some ways. But you love the process.
Nor was like my guest for episode number 3.
Yeah, that's
which
right.
is basically this time last year, right? And we talked about building the brand and 10-year plan and how COVID sort of reset some of that stuff. Now we're sort of 1 year on from that update, and we're 1 year on further. COVID is 1 year further behind us. Purpose is picking up, doing better.
Yeah, of course. No, we are. I mean, in all scheme of things, you compare yourself with where you are. We're still a very, very, very small fish in the pounds of the big brands, and competition is not easier. It's actually getting stronger everywhere. You also have new brands coming up in lots of different scenes. So the landscape is obviously going to be more and more challenging. However, we believe we're on the right track. We are always improving. There's always a lot of improvement that we can do on our product. And I try my best to listen to all of our customers and you implement to the best of our abilities and to the best of our velocity that we can do.
Because you guys are obviously triathlon,
yes.
Right? Running,
correct,
getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it's cycling very strong for us. Yes.
As well.
It's I would say the most underrated product we have, but it's probably I would say in the quality of what we have, it's a fantastic product.
My purpose jersey's right there, right?
Yes, that's right, and we have new ones, and
So triathlon is still your biggest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Biggest market.
It is our biggest market, but also where we concentrate a lot of our effort from a technical and product development point of view. Not just because we come from the triathlon, but also because the sport itself demands to be very precise, demands a lot of performance measurements. It's very demanding to be able to make a suit that you can swim, you can bike, and you can run with it.
You got to do all 3 sports.
Absolutely.
And it can't hinder you in any of those.
Correct. And the way we want to do things and the way we do things is not like everybody else. We really have, as Noah mentioned, like we really want to tackle the heat and humidity aspect of it. And when we talk about performance of the athletes, how can we enable all of the triathletes to have the best performance on the day that they can have, and to really that in a holistic way, and not just talking about aerodynamism, but how can we make sure that the athletes is as fast as possible?
When you are at these expos and thousands of people are walking past, right? How difficult is that to sort of translate that message in 5 words? You can basically in 5 words or in a sentence, right?
Yeah, so
okay. Look at us. But let's just say your T100 Dubai.
Yes,
a lot of people have never seen Purpose.
No, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
How do you tackle that sort of challenge?
I usually don't try to interrupt people when they come. I'll to see, but when I see someone seems to kind of interested to look at what we do, I always ask, because you never know. Hi, have you ever heard of our brand before? And obviously, a lot of times it was a no. Sometimes it was a yes, and you feel, oh yeah, great. Right, it feels good. It feels good. Just to know, like, you don't know if they think it's good or not. At least they heard of you.
Yeah.
But in Dubai, actually, more than what I thought people have heard of us. And then I always explain, I always, because for me, it's important. I always say we're a brand from Singapore. That I always start with that, because for us, it also explains, it kind of, everybody knows more or less where Singapore is.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, kind of.
But I think Singapore, everyone knows Singapore's hot.
That's correct. Exactly. And that's also, I mean, I'm not using Singapore for that, but I think it allows me then to explain the focus we have on heat and humidity.
Yeah.
And it allows me after to also explain the very important mission we have, which is also to promote diversity in the sport.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just not just heat and humidity. It's really what we want to achieve is to build a global brand, right? Not just to be a local player, but a global brand that stands for and have a positive impact on in the world today, which get people to be, more and more connected, but to show that there are different needs, different communities, and they all deserve attention, and we're here to support them. And that's why community in what we do and what we try to do is very important. And that's why being at the Expo is important, because it's not just about having a stand and selling product. It's about talking about that mission. It's also getting the word out, but also meeting those communities. In T100, in T100, I was able to meet the guys from Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Oman, men, women, and they when you start talking with them, they feed a little bit where they train, how they train, their needs and stuff like that. And for us, and for me, it's very important. And I actually love that. It's very taxing physically, but I actually enjoy going to expos because I like the touch with the people, and because I do the sport. So for me, it's like being with my mates in a way.
Yeah.
It's not without, it's challenging. Especially
training to
when you race,
be on your feet all day.
Yeah, it's not. Don't do it. It's not smart. If you want to race well.
So let's talk about racing, right? So, June we talked. October was KONA, right?
Yeah, October was KONA.
How did the prep go for KONA?
Not well. Unfortunately, not well. So in June, I was actually in okay shape. But then, unfortunately, I was on a trip in India, and I got something. And it's not like I don't eat Indian food. Like I kind of almost eat Indian food every day, with my lovely wife being Indian and loving this type of food. It's my staple food. It's like when I don't know what to eat, it's what I eat. But you never know. I might have got some. And we went to a restaurant and everybody was fine, but not me. The night I started to get well.
You could trace back which meal it was.
I think it was. I mean, I tried, but it was actually in a very good restaurant. So I still cannot figure out like what the only the white guy got sick and not the other one.
It wasn't. So it wasn't like you were eating street food and it was.
No, it wasn't. No. I know. So I don't. But it really hurt me. Like I never really experienced before, because you start to feel unwell and you go to I'm not gonna paint like the picture, but it's not a big one, so you start going diarrhea, and then you start to take the small stuff, and then 1 day, 2 days, 3 days doesn't really pass, and then I was traveling back, so maybe you go to see a doctor, and I was traveling the next day to Malaysia, so you take some medication, and then you wait a little too long. You don't know, and then it doesn't pass. And then until I see the doctor, it was 6 days after really I was passing everything, and I was not eating well. And then you start, and you have KONA in your head.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh God, I don't train. I remember we went for a training weekend with my wife because she was doing Langkawi, and I want to also help her. Yeah. And I wasn't just an idiot. Like the fact that I was missing my training, not able to train, was really bugging me.
A mind game as well, right?
I had a 30K run to do on my training plan. I was not eating well, not hydrating well. I did 24 and I threw up twice. And then my wife rushed me and said, Cyril, just stop. Like, what are you doing? But in my head, it was like, no, two more. It was not it's that you want to get the job done, you want to follow the plan, you want to be as consistent as you can. So unfortunately, I until I really realized and got, actually I had to go to see a specialist actually on my birthday.
Nice.
On the 28th of August. I like, no, this is not passing, it's been 7 days, like I need to. And I went to the hospital, then we did some analysis and then I went to see a specialist, and he finally gave me. So I literally was having diarrhea for 14 days. So
was it like a infection?
Yeah, it was an infection. Like it was a virus infection, bacteria, and that's why it took like a couple of days of antibiotics, because you want to avoid antibiotics, right? Because it kills everything in your gut. And and you're like, oh my God, it's close to the race, and in hindsight, it's always easy. I should have, should I say, listen to my wife, or
Yes. Yes.
Always do.
Better send it to her.
I should have seek like medical assistant, like proper medical assistance sooner. But when you start, you don't know it's serious enough.
When it's small, you don't think this.
Yeah, I mean, it was not that small, but you're like, oh God, no, daily belly, but then it doesn't pass, and I should really have gone to see the doctor sooner. So,
How was that 2 weeks of training that you lost?
Oh no, I think it was probably 3 months of training.
3 months.
Yeah, because the fact that I was not eating properly, I was dehydrating properly, the antibiotics killed everything that I built in my gut in terms of healthy. Got really blown away.
Rebuild to the whole.
I had to rebuild, yeah. And then I think really, like, when I finally start to be able to eat normally, like normal food, like the one that I was eating every day, you need to start training again. And then on my long rides, 3 weeks before the race, I was still vomiting after 3 hours on the bike. So I couldn't take the normal, everything, all of my nutrition plan, I couldn't take it. So I was getting at that point, I was starting to really get stressed. I'm like...
anxious.
Really anxious, and, with all the rest, it's not like I'm just training. I'm doing something also on the side.
So the 2 companies that you're running.
Yes, and accessories, 2 girls too, to try to take care of. So it was like really stressing. But no, I'm really glad and grateful to have my wife who came with me as well in KONA. We left the girls at home, too expensive. And also they're at school, so I couldn't really pick them up. But then I was there. So my performance was really not good.
So when you got to the start line, were you feeling okay, or?
I was feeling okay. Yeah. I was feeling okay, but I knew that, I was feeling okay. I could finally eat, and I did some couple of trainings I could, but I knew I was not going to PB, but I didn't know it was going to be that hard.
Your battery needs to be charged to 100. You were probably at 80.
Correct.
And then
it's KONA. You need to be at 110 to actually perform well.
So even if you start well, that battery's going to drain and you're going to get to zero faster than you normally would, right?
Yeah, and then it's actually, the swim was all right. I could have really done better, but I didn't push too hard because I knew But my power on the bike was really it was a long day on the bike for me, because this is already my weakness. Compared to the older sport, this way I suck the most.
Because I remember you were telling me that you train mostly indoors.
Correct.
And then suddenly you're on the outdoors corner and you're hills and...
Yeah, I mean, the hills. Where do you go here? Yeah, I mean, we did that. We've done a couple of trainings with the Elevate team as well. They've organized a training camp before Langkawi, and I joined them, and I did my own stuff, so I could do and stuff like that. But I think really, the power of my bike, I was 30 watts lower than what I know I could normally push.
Oh, okay. So that was the...
So at the start of the bike, I knew I didn't. I'm like, oh my God, no. And you're like, oh man, it's going to be a long day. And I think we started also later. My age group started in one of the last, not the last, but one of the last.
Okay.
And I think the wind started to pick up.
Yeah.
And man, I was not prepared for that.
That's right. Wheels are banned in KONA, right? Because the winds will push the bikes around, right?
So I mean, it's that climb at kilometer 50 or something, around that, which is very, very long. But I was expecting the wind to come from the sea, but it's not. It was coming from the mountain. And mate, I'm pretty good on my bike handling. Even though I train indoors, I have no issue with that. But the wind burst and stuff is what really threw me off.
Like gusty.
Oh, horrible. And I was at 14k an hour climbing up, and I was really like, oh my God. And then coming down also, coming down, we were pushing 60k or 60k or 65k an hour. But we have I was not on my bars. I was like this.
Pachoy, when he came in to talk about Kona, he said the same thing. People were passing him on their bars going down the hill, and he just couldn't do it because it was just, like, too sketchy.
Yeah, too sketchy. And then honestly, you need to get, it's the type of wind that we don't get. We don't get gusty winds here, really, to be honest. It's the same as Bustleton. Bustleton is also a race with a lot of gusty winds. I hated it when I did it because it was the same. I felt unsafe on my bike because we're not used to it. It's quite so. And then, finishing the bike at 540 was really not great. Not really happy with that. But yeah.
What would be a good bike for you? Because 540 sounds like it's pretty good, right? It's like 32, 33 kilometers an hour.
Yeah,
right?
correct. Yeah. But this is Kona, man.
Would you be happy with the 520, for example?
Yeah, that would have been great, to be honest. I would have been very happy with that. That would have been good.
Since you're so well rested on the bike, did you run a really good run?
No, I didn't. I didn't. The first 10K, I was actually quite happy. I was even chatting with a guy. We did 6-7K together. He was from Russia. We're talking, and then where we come from and stuff, making jokes. Yeah. And the first pass of Kona, it's quite nice because there's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But then after you pass that climb, that's
the same climb.
It becomes very lonely, and then I think the efforts, the bike, and the fact that I was not like my nutrition and everything, I started to get cramps. And
3 months of lead up wasn't ideal, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing that maybe like for me in this sport you can't hide consistency in training. I was not because I didn't want it to, just because I really struggled to really be consistent. That bug in India really didn't help me at all, but the travel and everything like that. So I did the best I could on the day, to be honest. The only thing I'm proud, if I can say that word, is I didn't stop. It was really hurting, like the cramps on the knees, just above the knee there, like so I was, yeah. And then I didn't took like cream anti-cramp stuff, so I was literally stopping at every single aid station, thinking ice, and then rubbing on my, and that's to help me numb.
That's right.
No, do you know what? No, they don't. And I didn't know. And I thought they would. And I'm like, hey, it's okay. At the next, I will get it. And then when you need it, you're like, do you have like, and you're like, huh?
Yeah.
Oh God. And then they basically don't have at all. I think we are, in Asia, they do. In Asia races, they do. At least all of the ones that I've done, there is. But it turns out not there.
So episode 1, when I passed out in the half marathon, I'm lying in the medical tent looking up, and I'm hearing, and everyone's running into the medical tent was asking for that spray. And that, I guess they only have that spray in the main tents and not the small tents, and I was in the small tent. And everyone's crappy, everyone's asking for the spray. They're being turned away to the next tent.
No, but they didn't have it in any.
Yeah.
In any of them. So that's why, I mean, I only walked at aid station to put the ice and stuff like that. But I kept pushing, and that's why really this sport is, a lot of it is the mind.
Yeah.
So I was not injured to the point where I needed to stop, but I really pushed hard, and I finished just below 11 hours, which is definitely not what I was hoping to do. Yeah. It's not too horrible.
Not terrible.
It's not terrible, but it's not what I can do, and that's, you compare yourself to what you think you can do, right?
Exactly.
Like,
the 5 or 10 people at the pointy end of the race, everyone's just competing against themselves anyway, right?
They are, but you also, it is a very competitive field, and I know I can do better, but I have to be, again, I did the best I could. Yeah. I was not as prepared, and at the end of the day, maybe I am grateful actually that I didn't have a good day, in a way, because otherwise, hard work and hard training doesn't matter. You can just, I mean, it shows that you
Gustav
don't.
Eden said that at the interview at Kona. He said, they asked him what would happen if you, like, how would you feel if you won? And he said, I'll be embarrassed because I haven't trained enough. I'm not at the level, and if I win, it's just showing that you don't need all that stuff. And
I don't know if it's Gustav. I think. Yes, it is Gustav. You're right. He said it all. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
He said he'd be embarrassed if he won because he hasn't put enough work in to justify winning.
Correct. I'm not. I will never win anything, and that's not why I do it. But in a way, it just shows that Cyril, you really need to put more consistency in your training. I think also in Taupo we can talk about that. I think I raced too much also last year.
Okay.
I did too much. Too many.
Not just racing, you're all over the place.
Correct.
So-
I'm 42, 43 this year, right? So I'm not young anymore. Like I can't cope with the same stuff that I used to, and yeah, you just have to be honest with what you can and cannot do.
So you finished Kona, didn't have the race you wanted. Does that mean that Taupo was your revenge race and you know hard and you did really well because you were so pumped from not doing so well?
No, actually, funny for me, Taupo was, for me, the focus was more the business. The racing was on the cake.
You had an expo at Calgary as well. And I remember you telling me last time that you didn't want to do an expo at Langkawi, or you did. There was one that you didn't want to do an expo. You just, for once, you wanted to do a race with that.
What's going on?
For once, you wanted to do something like that.
Icona, it was just me, my wife, enjoying the experience, enjoying the vibe, enjoying this really mythical island, a mythical place with the best triathletes that, man, really, like, I don't belong here. They all look too good.
Yeah.
The amount you're like...
Leanne said when she went to Kona last year, she was like walking around, and then all of the other people in the hotel were like ripped and strong and bigger and like.
Yeah, but she's pretty fit.
I know she was too. If she felt that she was inadequate, the rest of
no, but there are some guys, like I think they are semi-pro or something like that. Yeah. I mean, the sport is really, really getting more and more competitive, especially outside of, especially in the US and Europe. You really like, there are guys that were racing below 9 hours. Like, dude, it's insane. So, but the whole vibe was fantastic. We got a couple of swimming, like that swim, like I swim with dolphins, like literally doing the training swim, and you see a dolphin under you. At first you're like, is it a dolphin or a shark? Not sure.
Well, if there are dolphins, it's good because dolphins.
It's too, yes, exactly. And then one just literally flops in front of you like this, and you see a turtle. Like it's mythical. That's those stuff that I will always remember.
Yep.
And the vibe is really unique.
So you've been to both Taupo and Kona, right? So Taupo is men's and women's world championships.
Yep.
Kona is only men's world championships.
This year.
Yeah, this year. Yeah. And then the women's was in these.
And then they swap.
How is the vibe different between the two events because one doesn't have the women?
Yes.
Is it tangible?
In my opinion, yes.
Okay.
I really...
So which atmosphere, not talking about turtles and dolphins and lakes and stuff and clear water, which atmosphere in terms of like the expo and the people and which one was a better vibe?
For me, Taupo, to be honest, between the two, I think, Kona is Kona. It's magical, it's special. The vibe in Taupo, in my point of view, was more electric. Because I think, especially for one of it is the part of the run course. Like there is people everywhere.
Cool.
Because it's 2 loops. First, it's like half the distance. So yeah, and then Kona, the run is lonely. It's really lonely, especially at one point. It's just you. That's why they say it's a very tough race mentally as well, because you never see the freaking end.
Because it's a loop.
One song, and you come back, and that the energy lab, as they say, it's a. There's no one. It's just you and the other participants, and so you don't feel the vibe. And in Taupo, you had people pretty much the whole run course, and then because you have doubled the number of triathletes, you also have 3,000 women that are there to support you, and you can watch the women race.
It's a men's race, right?
Correct. So I think for me, the vibe of having both in the same weekend is nice. I understand that logistically and something is a bit more challenging. I also know that I understand that having a special day for women is important because there was the combination, do we have men and women racing the same day? Because that was the question in Kona. There's lots of different opinions. Mine is 1 day for women, 1 day for men, but together, I think as a vibe, it's way nicer.
Yeah.
And Taupo was awesome, even though I barely saw the women because I was in the expo the whole time for 4 days full. But the city and the stuff was quite nice.
I guess with the rotating world championships, Taupo is got it one this year. They're not going to get it for another 15 years, something, right? So they're going to say, yes, women, men, let's all go. But Kona, they get it every single year. So they've got more of an opinion on the disruption, right?
Yeah, no, fair enough. But man, disruption. Let's talk about Roth in Germany.
Yeah.
That was my first full.
Yep.
I mean, Kona is a special place because of the sport.
Yeah, that's where it was invented.
But as ambience, look, I even have goosebumps. The rough is better for me as a race, as an experience for the whole weekend. The race itself, the vibe, start to finish. For me, nothing as yet comes close to Roth. Kona, of course, because it is Kona, because it's mythical. But if you remove all of that, it's not. Roth really 7,000 volunteers, the whole city. In the in Kona, you feel some people don't want you there.
Yeah.
In Roth, everybody wants you there. Everybody's welcoming. I'm not saying that they're not welcoming in the US, but maybe another topic on another type of podcast.
Different.
But you're right. You arrive at the airport. See the vibe, like, when the way they treat you. My bike was late, and why is it late? Like there's like five flights from Honolulu to Kona, and they're like, you arrived when you arrived. Like, yeah, but where is it? I don't know. We'll see. We'll let you know. But how will you let me know? Yeah. And it's the whole tone and everything. Like, it just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, we don't want you there. We don't care. Yes. But you know what I mean? Like the feeling, for me, Roth was magical. And that's probably one of the races I really want to try to come again. Because it was just great, and I'd maybe, try to improve my time.
So Taupo, did you do a good race? Did you do a bad race? Did you...
Not great.
It's shorter, so...
Not great, because I got a little unlucky. So again, after Kona, 2 weeks after Dubai, another expo, then come back and prepare another expo in Taupo. And
So when you say expo, so Taupo, your race is on Sunday.
Correct.
Expo is from when?
From Wednesday. So you set up on Tuesday.
So you set up on Tuesday. So you got to put everything up. So it's in boxes. You got to throw it all up on Tuesday. Right? Yeah, perfect. Wednesday, people start to filter in. Thursday, Friday is prime time.
Correct.
Saturday, the women's race for the still men in the
Correct.
expo. And then Sunday, you're racing.
Yeah, and then as soon as I finished, I opened the booth.
so Sunday, and then bim bam boom, you're done. Monday, you're packed up and you're out.
Sunday night, we packed up.
Oh God!
It was a long weekend.
Recovery boots on or something.
Yeah, but again, I had my wife who helped me, so it was really my wife and I manning the booth most of the time, and some people came here to help a little, here and there a little bit, and it was great to see a lot of Singapore, and a lot of the also Malaysians and Indonesian come to see, because a lot of people had never heard of us. It's the world champs, right? So a lot of people are coming from the US. Majority are coming from the US. A lot of Europeans, South American, and we're not present there. We're not really marketing there. That was one of the objective for us, is to, show our brand a little bit. We did a special design to celebrate the culture of New Zealand. We've done a cap with the design of the pawa, which is the abalone from New Zealand. So we try to also just show a little bit our brand with the respect as well of the community.
The eyes of the best athletes in the world are
correct.
Seeing your brand.
I mean, yes. I mean, you need more than once to get a couple of eyeballs, but we hope that, the people who came to see us and talk to us, we had a few, and people who bought our caps and our t-shirt, majority have never heard of us. Hopefully it will be a good experience, and presenting our brand and representing also Singapore for us was important. So, it's definitely not a very smart move because PTO is 2 days, 3 we've set up and stuff like that. This was like 5 really. So I knew I was not going to be super fresh on the day. And then because it was so expensive to stay there, we actually stayed in Rotorua, which is 55 minutes away of drive. So in the morning to open the expo is 1 hour. To come back is 1 hour. You end up, having dinner at 9:30 by the time you close everything. But it was super fun because I found an Airbnb with a couple of people that you received in this. Banyun was there. We had friends, Rafael and his family, who came to join us. So we had a couple of the Terminal YouTube. So we did a Airbnb with rooms, and we all it was a bit like being students a little bit again. Yeah, it was quite fun.
So then you got to the start line. We are raring to go. How'd the race go?
Yeah, I mean, 2 days before the race, I started to get a sore throat, and then it became more than a sore throat, and it became big cough.
Until when you arrived in New Zealand, you were fine.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Okay, I mean, then it was just 2 days in KONA Expo.
No, it's outside.
It's outside.
It was outside.
So-
But I don't know. I think it's maybe standing up the whole day, not hydrating well, and talking all the time. I always lose my voice after 1 day and a half. Maybe I caught something. On Wednesday it was hot and sunny. On Thursday it was raining. On Friday it was hot. So I don't really know. I just started to get a sore throat, started coughing, and really started to, not great. And so I was not putting like massive expectations. So I'm like, oh man, okay, do the best you can as usual. I did actually I'm quite happy with my swim, to be honest. Okay, it was wetsuit, so it definitely helps.
But it was fresh water, so it doesn't actually.
Oh, no, the buoyancy is definitely way better with a wetsuit.
But a wetsuit with salt water would be even better.
Yes,
right?
yeah, absolutely. But it was, I managed to do a pretty good swim for my, looking at what was the 5 days before and everything and all the energy and stuff. I did a good swim. I didn't overdid it either. I think 30 minutes and 15 seconds, something like that.
That's very respectable.
But then I was coughing all the time when I was swimming. Like every couple of broad breaststrokes, it was like,
You're sucking in water. It's not helping the sore throat. You're coughing, and then
yeah. On the bike, it was all right. I maybe managed also because I'm like, PTSD of KONA.
But I heard the road is quite rough.
Yeah, the road was quite rough. Yeah. But I've actually done that race in March, so I kind of knew the lake. It's a different course, but I knew the roads a little bit. I maybe I didn't have the power also that I wanted.
Better than KONA.
But yeah, better than KONA. Yeah, definitely. Definitely better than KONA. And then I was really happy with the start of my race on the run. But then that cough, really, my throat was getting so dry, and I couldn't breathe. Like the second loop, I really struggled to do the proper breathing. I couldn't.
Airway.
So I was literally doing. So and this started to mess up with my rhythm, started to mess up with my stomach. I started to get stitches. So I didn't have the run that I know I could do, because I did my PB was Taupo Lati in Finland the year before. On the half marathon, I didn't suffer at all from the heat.
You didn't stop? You ran the whole way?
No, I ran the whole way. I tried to push. I still beat 5 hours, so it's still
What's your
decent.
for 70.3?
440 something.
Okay, so
443, etc. Yeah,
15
17 minutes away. Yeah, 15 minutes away from my PB.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All things considered, with the season that I had, the year that I had from business and everything, and this, my performance in Taupo was actually okay.
Was it a hot race? Like the temperature of the water, I heard it was.
We got lucky, mate. In December last year, because I did the expo last year. I only did the expo in December last year. And I did a swim. I was like, oh God. 15, 16 degrees water.
I heard it was 19 this year.
And this year was, was 19, 18.8. So it was actually fantastic swim.
Because this is New Zealand, right? So in the middle of summer in New Zealand, it's still not that hot.
No, I was not hot at all. Some people are like, oh my God, I was so hot. I'm like, oh, I actually felt chill on the lake.
How about KONA?
KONA was hot.
Yeah.
But not as hot as here. I didn't really, for me, the heat was not the reason why I didn't perform. Okay. That's nothing to, we used to it here. I think it was less hot. It was the same degree, but there's less humidity. I think what really kills us here is really the humidity, like in terms of the speed and the run. I don't think I could run. Same in Lati. I did my half marathon in Lati, I think in 1:32, which is my PB on a half marathon. Yep. There's no way I can run a 1:32, 17.3 in Desaru or in Langkawi or Da Nang or Cebu, or no way.
Yeah.
It's just too hard.
Whenever I go back to Perth and I go running like with my brother, for example, I'm running 15, 20 seconds a kilometer faster. Yeah. And just chit-chatting the game and just running a little easy, right? So let's talk about that, right? So obviously your purpose, right?
Yeah.
And you're not going to wear other brands at these events, right? So you're going to these events. You're going to these events and you're using the best of your own brand, right?
Yes.
Hot races Singapore is our country. Hot races there, hot race in New Zealand, relatively speaking. What did you find from your own experience of using your own brand in these hotter races that compared to
Whatever I'm gonna say is biased.
Of course.
But for me, the breathability and the comfort of the suit is what matters the most for 99.9% of the amateur field. Those who are actually part, even world championships, because the importance of enabling your body to not cool itself down, or at least to reduce the impact of the effort that you're producing when we do a triathlon, instead of being 70.3 or even Olympic and especially long distance. The majority of the energy that your body is using is actually not to walk or to run or to bike or to swim, is to cool the body down.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you are producing the effort that you're doing independently on your level, on how fast you go, your body goes and overeat. Your body produce more energy, produce heat. You're going to go into a fever mode.
Or your body needs energy
Correct.
to heat up.
Correct.
And then it needs energy to cool down that.
Because otherwise, if it doesn't use energy to cool down, you go to level of fever that is actually, you're going to pass out.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I know. I've done that before. So.
Yeah. So I think for us, it's always been there. And that's actually the origin of the brand, is having a suit that is enabling the body to use less energy to cool itself down. Now, what has been difficult is to prove how much and things like that. So a lot of this at the moment for us is based on a couple of surveys that we've done and research, but a lot of them is a bit more qualitative than quantitative, because very, very difficult to isolate all of the different elements to be able to say that this equals, to do a proper scientific thing.
It's that the absence of heating up is not necessarily quantifiable, so you don't know if what you would have heated up if you weren't wearing the suit, right? So
that is correct. So and to measure the impact. So right now, our whole overall industry, triathlon and cycling, but especially triathlon, is measuring whether a suit is fast or not with only one metric.
Aerodynamics.
It's aerodynamics, and actually on aerodynamics is the reduction of drag. The CDA.
Yeah.
All right. So how much drag of reduction is this fabric with the cut of that suit is going to enable the athlete to reduce the amount of watts that he needs to go at the same speed?
Yes.
There's a couple of issues in my point of view in those things. First, it doesn't measure the actual, you in a wind tunnel when you do this. It's 17 degrees, it's controlled temperature, it is obviously because you want to be able to measure the drag.
And it's controlled wind as well.
It's controlled wind. So what about, and what the wind is usually coming in front, but what about the aerodynamics when it goes on the side, right?
Gusty.
Correct.
Is, right?
So there's this. Second, it doesn't measure the impact on the body in terms of heat, right? When you have a fabric or something that is very aerodynamic, it needs to let the airflow go around. If you want something that is breathable,
Or control the airflow.
So, but if you want something breathable, if you want something to help the sweat to come out, the body to regulate itself better, some of the fabric that are the best aerodynamics are actually preventing anything to come in. But if anything comes in, nothing comes out. So some fabric, like the swim skin, do not use that on the outside of swimming, because it is you are going to
Nothing goes in, nothing goes out.
Exactly. And so that's the thing. So that's the challenge. Now, this is not me saying it, it's surveys that are saying it. Aerodynamics and the importance of aerodynamics in a tri-suit, in clothing, is only really impactful on the performance of the athletes at 40-45 kilometers an hour.
On the bike, though.
On the bike.
So it's, you're still swimming, you're still running.
Yeah.
Right?
So when people are like the whole industry talking about aero, it's not that it's not important, but there is this marketing story that to go fast, you need a fast bike, a fast wheel, a fast disc wheel, a fast this, a fast that, and a fast suit. And obviously people buy this story, but it doesn't matter for majority. It doesn't matter for me, really. Like a super suit that is the best aerodynamics will make zero impact on my performance in KONA and TAUPO, because I'm not going fast enough. That's the reality. It doesn't mean that having an aero suit means nothing. It is, but I think there is an I would say, marketization of the story of being, or that you can buy your way into performance. You can't. if you look at the pros who won Taupo and KONA, you clearly nobody would have bet on Lange, and so it's not just that matters really for performance. And when you ask Blumenfeld, when you ask Laidlaw and all of that, why you overeat? All of them overeat, right? So that's what we focus at Purpose, and that's what I can't share too much. But a lot of what we are going to do in this year, the year after, and the year following after is to be able that next time when I can come, I can actually show you a piece of paper and I can tell you this is how much is impact, this is how much watts. We are enabling the athlete to save and to have an overall appreciation of the performance of a suit. Because right now it's just a metric of reduction of drag. But the reality is, okay, maybe this fabric or this pattern will be maybe less aero, but definitely has an impact in breathability and cooling features.
Is it, obviously I'm oversimplifying these, right? But is it fabrics that you're talking about, or is it colors, or is it like location of different panels, or like, because you've got the custom program, and if someone says I want a black suit, are you going to go, hey, we don't do black because
no, we do. No, we do because again, yes, color have an impact, but the material is the most important thing.
Okay, so material
is the most important thing. Like you can have a black suit with an aero or with a cooling one, it will be better than having a white that is impermeable, like 100%. So color has an impact, but how much? That's one of the things we want to identify. But the fabric itself, the breathability of the fabric, is the most important thing too. In the heat management purposes.
Is this going to flow onto your running and to your cycling and
everything we do?
Everything that you do?
Everything we do is about heat and performance management, and for everybody, right? So everything that we try to do for the pros, and so we're launching a super suit as well that will be breathable in April for PTO. That Joe Skipper has been testing in the wind tunnel, that my Felix is using, and all of my pros for the first race in March will all use. But the objective is not to stop there. That was a year of work with me and a lot of my pros to feedback, testing, pattern, materials, and all of that. Fortunately, it's not as fast as we want. You learn along the way. Like, we worked with people who have done testing and all of that for 10 years instead of, we've been very humble in our approach of working with people who know better than us and say, you know better, I'm going to listen to you. And because I don't have the time to do everything myself, I don't have the money anyway. And the market is evolving. And if I don't catch up, that's the reality from a business and a brand perspective. But last year was catching up in a way. And we are releasing the result of that catching up in a few months. But but for us, this is not where we stop. The market will evolve anyway. Our competitors are not stopping right now anyway. Everybody's trying to do the best job they can. I have all the respect for everybody's trying to do that. But our approach will really be focusing on heat, humidity, and overall performance of the athletes. At the moment, I have nothing to show because it's a big project. It's something that is very difficult as well.
It's kind of the ethos of the company, right?
It is.
It's born in the heat of heat and humidity.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So.
It's born in humidity for everyone, and that's that's exactly that. And then it took, everything takes time. But I think with resilience and having the right process and the right partners in play, that's where we hope, and hopefully we'll have an MVP, or I have at least a timeline of when I will have an MVP.
So then. You said the super suit's going to have available to the not just the average Joe, everyone else.
To Joe Skipper for sure, but not just he's not average. No, just I know. Not just the average Joe.
Can I go into the expo at 700 my extra large?
Yes, you can.
It would work.
Yes. That the objective and what we're working towards is to be able to release that product a couple of weeks before, so people can also train with it before. But it will be available. Inshallah, everything will go good.
It's not like some of these bikes that they make, the track bikes that are only for the athletes, right? It's something that
man,
everybody.
It is exactly the ethos of our brand. We want to make fast aerodynamics and breathable suit accessible. It is going to be more expensive than our core collection today, because the cost of the fabric is just like insane. because what we need is something like the top of what we can find. And that costs a lot. Building good products costs money, but we are not going to market this at completely crazy prices. We are going to do our best to make it accessible and for everyone. So it's not a suit that only you will be getting the same suit that what the pros at Purpose are using, minus maybe 1 or 2 modifications, probably the pockets at the back. Currently, my pros don't want them. Because for them, it matters.
Yeah.
For them, even if you have an aero pockets at the back, it may be 1 or 2 watts difference. For them, it matters because they are going at speed and at levels where it is having an impact.
Oh, for us, it matters. We need them.
But actually, if I don't have any pockets, man, where do I put my gels and stuff? So we have pockets in the front now. But this is maybe the only difference they will have. But fit, material, and everything is going to be very different. And we're going to also enlarge the type of sizes because there is no before the aerodynamics of the material itself, the type of fabric that you're using. What is the most important thing for aerodynamics is the fit. If it's too loose, if you have creases, you can buy $1,000 suit. It's not gonna make any difference at all, right? Actually, it's probably slower than something maybe with a less fast fabric, but that is not fitting your body perfectly. So one of the things we also trying to do is having more sizes in between, which is a challenge also because it's more inventory, it's more sizes, orders, you dilute more, costs more money, but it is the right thing to do. And that's what we're doing.
Cool, man. We went down a really big rabbit hole there. But so let's bring this back to triathlon. What next for you? Are you going to, so now you've done KONA.
Yep.
World Championships of KONA. You've done World Championships of Taupo. You've done Challenge Roth.
Yeah.
Right? Are you trying to do Nice? Like to get the full set? Or what's it, Norseman? Are you going to go Norseman as well?
No.
I had a client one year that did KONA, Norseman, and Roth in the same year.
Was that the American guy?
Yes, Andrew.
Andrew Schleck, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like the
but he quit his job to do this.
Yes.
And train only for this. Amazing guy. So I want to Nice, not that I don't care, but for me, if I want to do Nice, I would want to do the normal Nice, not the World Champ. That's number one. Also because it's half the price. To be honest, it's insane. Like the cost of World Championship, it's not the same price. It's more expensive.
And then you have to pay for it on the slot when you qualify as well, right?
Correct. I mean, you still have to. If you want to do Nice, you will have to. I also think I'm not really prepared yet to do Nice because to train with the hills, it's it's a lot of elevation. Even though, you can do it, you can train. I know I can do it. That's not an issue, but how fast? What is my expectation? Yeah. No, what I'm going to do is I already registered for Langkawi.
Okay.
I want to try to qualify again.
For?
KONA 26.
Oh, okay. So Langkawi that just passed is for Nice next year. So the Langkawi.
No, Langkawi will be for KONA.
Yes, it's Langkawi of this year.
Yes, that's correct. Sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Langkawi last year. Langkawi we in January.
Yes.
We are, New Year. Langkawi a few months ago is qualification for Nice.
Yeah.
Langkawi next year is the qualification for KONA. It's gonna be hard, of course, but that's gonna be my A race, and then I will. I have not registered yet, but I will do half distance. So it's not a 70.3 because it's not an Ironman, but it's Challenge Taiwan. I've done the Olympic last year. Really enjoyed the course. Really enjoyed the vibe as well. It's nice, like really, really cool.
Like Taiwan as a country.
Yeah, beautiful. Cycling heaven, to be very honest. And then I'm going to do Cebu.
So you're doing the two Ironman pro races?
The two Ironman pro race, because we're going to have expos at all of those 3 races. So
you're just going to...
Yes,
we'd be so.
I just have to be honest with myself. There is no way I'm not gonna do the expo in those ones. Those are very important for our brand and for our presence. And Langkawi, even though we are a Singapore brand, but we represent Southeast Asia, it's almost our local race as well. It's very important for us.
You have the fellowship run, and then you've been there forever. It's like
Malaysia is also very much into our DNA. We love Malaysia as well, and the community there is very strong. So. There's also a lot of Singaporean coming there to race. So Even though it's in the country of Malaysia, it's the biggest Southeast Asian race, I think, and having both 17.3 and full also make it a very interesting and vibrant race. It's a tough race. I love the bike course. It's beautiful, the jungle and the stuff when you don't hit the monkeys. The rails are
the water that goes the water.
Yeah, when it pours, but it's a challenging race. It's where I did probably my best performance 2 years ago, where I qualified for KONA. So I want to try to do it again. And I'm treating Challenge Taiwan and Cebu as preparation. I have zero expectation on podiuming. I never have anyway. But for me, those are to help me get to having a good Langkawi race.
So Langkawi race is a full Ironman because
correct. Yeah, correct.
And then what next after that? 2026 for purpose is still marching along.
Marching, pushing, hoping getting more partnerships, getting obviously more growth, potential new technology, and hopefully that project that we're working on will produce something tangible that we can release commercially. If it's not good enough, we won't release it. So I don't know yet how much. I don't know. But yeah, that's the course, and then maybe exploring 2026 on a personal level to try to do an Xterra.
Yeah, nice.
Try to do something a little different. Not that I will stop triathlon. It is a triathlon, but maybe a different format. I'm kind of not going back to New Zealand, but have the chance to re-see a little bit more nature, mountains, trails, trees. Ruisseau, how do you say that in English? Small things of water, like it's not a river. Streams. Thank you. Streams and stuff.
Yeah.
Just like not make me homesick, but I do miss the mountains and stuff. So
for recharging the mind and just getting out. You can only make Richie so many times before it's like.
Yeah, I mean we said that the last time, right? Like I really struggle to go outside also because it's always the same, and especially TMCR, I just can't stand it anymore. Because you always go there and somebody's back and forth, and the trucks and but anyway, so that's what in plan.
Yeah, cool, man. I think we're done.
Yeah.
How to get a hold of you? Try Daddy, right?
Try Daddy. I've not done a very good job on Instagram lately.
Team Purpose as well.
Team Purpose, of course. Team Purpose is the brand. Try Daddy and the Try Daddy van, which when Pito is gonna come, I'm hoping to get some of my pros athletes from different partnership that we have to get in and to get create some stuff with the community.
Pro partnerships are doing okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have new solid athletes coming up.
I heard that you got one of my podcast guests on your roster next year, Leanne.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, she was there. Yes, that's
Pink
right.
Boss.
Yeah, the Pink Boss, the Pink Lady. We're making a suit right now. It's gonna arrive in a couple of weeks. So very pink, bright colors, very cool design. I'm actually quite excited to see it on the course, and very, very, very proud actually to have her on the roster. There's not a lot of women in triathlon, and I
think she's a super good role model for all women.
Absolutely
works. She trains. She's focused.
Engineer. She's an engineer. She's really impressive. But she's also, apart from the Japanese athlete, I don't think there is any pro women. There are very strong athletes in the region, like Lingar, of course. We was doing a charity ride at the moment we speak. Yeah, she's going to raise money for Smile Asia from Singapore to Thailand. She's an amazing athlete. But Lian is the only pro. So I'm very proud to that the Southeast Asian brand is behind and supporting so that for me was really awesome. And to get a trust as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Okay. I think that's the end.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me again.
Let's do it again in 6 months' time.
Yes, my pleasure. Or maybe let's do it a little bit later when I have a bit more updates on that on those testing things.
So that's pretty towards the end of the year, I guess.
Yeah, probably. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, man. Really pleasure. Thank you.